Welcome to the Deep Dive. This is where we take your notes, your sources, and really just turn them into essential knowledge. Today, we're getting to the core of your day, but we're not talking about calories or macros or, the latest diet trends. Our mission is to look at eating, that fundamental thing we do every day, and to understand how our meals really reflect our culture, our lifestyle, and even our emotional needs.
It's such a rich topic, and the sources you sent over, they didn't just list foods. They sort of mapped out the entire flow of a person's day, their energy, their emotions. We're looking at it all through 5 categories: breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, and drinks. And what's fascinating is how much these simple routine habits reveal about who you are. It's like a map of your identity, hidden right there in plain sight.
The ultimate shortcut to understanding ourselves. Okay, let's unpack this. We have to start with the fuel for the day. Breakfast. I feel like we have to begin with the caffeine delivery system.
First hit of the day.
Yes, exactly. I'm absolutely in that camp. You know that line we pulled out, no coffee, no brain. That first half hour, it's not even about enjoyment. It's just, it's functional survival.
That phrase just perfectly captures the modern mindset, doesn't it? This constant rush. But the material also has this beautiful counterbalance to that idea, which is the simple, calming breakfast. We're talking about eggs and toast, maybe a little cheese, little butter. And it's not just about fuel. It's about creating this small, quiet bubble for yourself before the world starts demanding your attention. That warmth, that familiar taste, it just makes the morning feel, well, peaceful.
That contrast is everything, the rush versus the peace. And there was a clear theme in the notes about people who used to skip breakfast entirely, trying to squeeze out an extra 15 minutes of efficiency. Why do you think so many people shifted away from that?
I think it's a growing awareness about, cognitive function and self-care. There's this powerful theme that comes up again and again. The consequence of skipping that meal is immediate. It's unforgiving. The sources highlight that lesson learned the hard way. You skip breakfast and you are starving by 10 a.m. You can't think straight. So we realize that breakfast, even if it's just a banana or some yogurt, it's not just about hunger. It's about jump-starting your brain, setting the mood for the whole morning.
And if the weekday breakfast is all about function, then the weekend breakfast is this. Pure psychological reward. It's when you finally have time to slow down, to actually cook something comforting. Pancakes with maple syrup, maybe strawberries. It's not really about the food itself. It's the feeling of starting the day slow. It's giving yourself permission to just breathe.
That permission is critical. And if we look outside our own routines, this first meal is such a profound cultural marker. The research gave some great examples. In India, breakfast is often paratha and chai. It's grounding, substantial, a really rooted start to the day. Then in Japan, it's often light and balanced, maybe a rice soup, some fish. It reflects this deep cultural value on, efficiency and balance right from the start.
Well, the classic American version is still that dense, high-energy plate of eggs, bacon, and toast.
Exactly. And the food itself, the density, the flavor, it tells you what kind of day that culture is preparing you for.
So if breakfast sets the energy, then lunch seems to reflect the speed of the day. For some people, it's their favorite meal.
And you can see why.
Right. Because it forces you to actually stop, to sit down and enjoy your food, which is such a contrast to the morning rush. It's that necessary break.
And what's so fascinating is how lunch directly mirrors your lifestyle. The choice between a light meal and a really full, filling one tells you so much. Are you just trying to avoid that afternoon slump? Or do you actually need that density, that power, to get you through the rest of the day?
And for those who need the substance, the sources were very specific. Things like rice and grilled chicken with a salad. It sounds simple, but it was the little things, a garlic sauce or just good olive oil and lemon, that turn a functional meal into something genuinely pleasurable.
Yes, and that pleasure is it's amplified by the social side of it. The material kept coming back to this idea that food just tastes better when it's shared. When you're talking, laughing, connecting with people. We forget that lunch is also about social restoration.
It brings up that memory of, those warm family lunches. They weren't fancy, but they were full of conversation.
Yeah.
And that image of a mother always saying, eat more. That's a language of care all on its own.
It's sustenance and love, all in one. And this is where the global context is so revealing. If you look at the timing of lunch, it's everything. In Spain, lunch isn't a quick thing at noon, it's late. 2, maybe 3 p.m.
And that's not just a scheduling quirk, is it? There's a deeper tradition there.
Oh, it's deeply rooted in the culture. It ties back to the siesta. The day is structured around a major break when the sun is highest. The meal is part of a whole life pause. Contrast that with Japan, where lunch is often a quick, tidy bento box. It's about organization, minimizing disruption.
And then you have the Middle East, where lunch can be a full celebration.
Absolutely. Kebabs, rice, salads, hummus, all spread out. It's not just eating, it's feasting. It shows that the middle of the day is when the community gathers. It's about hospitality, abundance, connection.
Okay, so as the day winds down, we get to dinner. And the notes call it the evening reward, the soft landing.
I love that phrasing.
It's perfect, isn't it? The rush is over. You can finally slow down, relax.
And the food choices reflect that need to decompress. You see a clear spectrum. Some people go for lighter things like soup or pasta with vegetables. Others want something heavier, like rice with fish or chicken, because the goal is to feel totally full and settled for the night.
I also really appreciate that the notes included the, let's say, imperfect meals, the movie dinner, noodles,
Yeah.
a sandwich. The description was not fancy, just comfortable. It's food that requires zero mental effort.
And that lack of effort is directly linked to comfort. Which brings us to the ultimate rejection of the rules. Having breakfast for dinner.
Eggs and toast again.
Weirdly satisfying, as the source said.
It's described as breaking the rules in a delicious way. But I wonder if it really is rule breaking. Or is it just the ultimate expression of comfort?
That's a great point. It's a psychological loophole almost. Breakfast foods are easy. They're not stressful. By eating them at night, you're consciously choosing familiarity over complexity.
But the dinner table itself, that's where the real connection happens. Is when people finally slow down enough to actually listen.
Exactly. The phones go down. The focus shifts to the person across from you. And sometimes it's not even about deep conversation. Sometimes it's just quiet peace.
For sure. And the go-to meals reinforce that. Grilled chicken, rice, and salad. Or that warm, nostalgic pasta with tomato sauce. They're just anchors at the end of the day.
So we've established the three main meals, but now we have to talk about the spaces in between. Snacks. The material really leans into that universal feeling of dietary surrender, that moment of weakness.
Right.
You plan to have one cookie, maybe a few chips, and then suddenly the container is empty.
And that inability to stop says so much. Snacks aren't just about hunger. They are fundamentally about comfort. A quick emotional reward. It's a little break that says, hey, you're doing fine. And I thought the point about timing was brilliant. Of course, you have your healthy options, fruit, nuts, yogurt for energy. But then you have popcorn, the ultimate movie snack. And this idea that weekend snacks just taste better because your brain feels you earned them. That's so true.
It absolutely is. It's a small celebration. And that idea of a small, culturally loaded trophy, that extends to street food, too.
Oh, that instantly makes you think of travel, doesn't it? Thailand's mango sticky rice or tacos in Mexico. A small snack from a street vendor can tell you so much about a country in just a few bites.
A whole narrative, condensed. And moving to drinks, we see a similar thing. Coffee is that pure, aggressive morning energy. Black or with milk and sugar, that small morning hug. It's all about performance.
And then the afternoon shift to tea. Green tea, mint tea. It's for calm, for relaxation. It's like pressing pause on a busy day.
It is. And culturally, tea is so fascinating. In Japan, the tea ceremony is an art form. It's meditation, it's precision. Or in the UK, afternoon tea is a required social break.
Right, with the little cakes and snacks.
Exactly. It's a ritual.
And while we all love refreshing juices, orange juice as sunshine in a glass is a great line, the sources bring it all back to the essential.
They do. In the end, no matter the culture or the time of day, the most important drink is always water. It's the simple foundation that all these other rituals are built on.
So we've really covered the full menu of the day, from that first jolt of caffeine to the final quiet meal. It's incredible how deeply our daily food habits are tied into our energy, our mood, the very structure of our lives.
And it raises this really important question. When you look at it globally, why does this simple act of eating resonate so profoundly everywhere? The material kept circling back to one theme. Food is connection.
The ultimate universal language.
Exactly. That's the real magic of it. You can connect with people who don't even speak the same language. You can share the experience, the ritual, the moment. It's what anchors us.
So consider this the next time you share a meal, no matter how simple. What stories is that food telling about your culture, your lifestyle? And what emotional need, comfort, connection, maybe just a cognitive lift are you fulfilling right there at the table?